Hello, my friend. I guess I clicked on the wrong thing. Hello, my friends. Jerry Rosa here in the Rosa Stringworks Man Cave. The clock stopped there just abruptly, and it threw me a curve, and I clicked on the wrong thing. Sometimes that clock does that. It'll start counting down, and then it'll get to 3 and just stop, and you go. So, anyway, we're here. We're underway. I tell you, the older I get, the more I screw up, I think. But anyway, that's what threw me, is that the clock stopped on that. We had a play along last night, and the surprise guest was Yolanda, and I think everybody that heard her enjoyed it. She is one fine singer. One of the best voices I know of. I mean, really, it's just pure perfect sound. I mean, like, it doesn't, there's lots of good singers out there, but hers seems to be just like perfectly on pitch, man. It's just amazing. And you all came through last night with the donations. Let me tell you what actually happened last night and why I got so discombobulated. I didn't ask them if it was okay to try to collect some donations to help them out. I didn't ask them. I just did that on my own, and I wasn't sure how it would go. I was afraid they might take offense to it or something, or whatever. But when I said that, what happened was Mark, it really touched him, and he just, he kind of lost it, and so did I. After that, it was hard. I couldn't keep it together. I was trying not to look over there at him, and try to keep it together, because he's been through some tough times. Anyway, we collected $770 in donations last night, which is wonderful. Now, PayPal and YouTube, they knocked some of that down. I'm covering all of the fees. So far, there's only $33 in fees, but I'll cover all of that. And I'll probably add a little extra padding in there also. But that way, all of your money, every bit of it, every single dollar is going to Yolanda and Mark. For those of you who don't know, first of all, Mark, the worst thing is he's been going through some very serious cancer treatments. He feels pretty good. He's doing pretty well, but the medicine's really starting to hurt him bad. But on the other side of the coin, they've had just tremendous financial expenses. I mean, not, the cancer itself, obviously, that's a financial expense. I mean, nobody can afford that unless you're, Donald Trump or somebody that's got some money. You know what I mean? That you really, you get nailed on anything medical. I mean, just the medicine alone is, you just can't afford it. So they got that hanging over their head. And that would be bad enough for anybody. But then they had tornado damage, which was very significant. Like, for instance, a trailer got blown over and into the side of her reasonably new truck. I mean, she still owes like $15,000 on it, and it got messed up, mangled pretty bad. Then on top of that, I think I'll get all the specifics confused, but I think on that truck and definitely on some other vehicles, they've had significant, just mechanical problems that have cost into the tens of thousands. It's just unbelievable, like transmissions, and then, the mechanics, how they are these days. They just charge out the rear and don't produce, and so they've just been hit with just huge mechanical bills. On top of that, they've gone through, I always say that on the little things in life, look out for me. I mean, trust me, I have some really crummy luck on the little things, but those are little things. On the big things in life, I'm probably the luckiest person on the planet, and they aren't. They haven't been real lucky on some of these things, on the big things. So the bottom line is, I'm going to hold off writing their check, give you all a chance to go in there and pad the scorecard if you want to. That would be really good. But anyway, I'm sure they could use it. So here's my 3 preferences for if you would still like to donate. I'll hold off a day or two. So, if you even hear about this over the weekend, you still would have time to make a donation. I'll probably write the check on Monday. That way, we'll have collected a good amount for them. Anyway, well, the first preference would be to send it via PayPal because they only take like a 3% cut. Now, I'll cover the fee anyway. But, if you send your donation via PayPal, and all you do is you just go, you'd have to have a PayPal account, I think. I'm not even sure if you have to have a PayPal account. I'm not positive. You might be able to do it without one by just using a credit card or something. I just don't know. But anyway, you basically go into PayPal, and then you say you would like to send money via PayPal. And all you do is you just put in the information and send it to rosastringworks@gmail.com. And it'll get to me. It goes straight into my account, and then I'll just write them a check right out of my account. The second preference would be you could just go on my website, and from now through Monday, any song purchased, you can change the amount and put any amount on the song you want. Just purchase a song between now and Monday, and change it to $20, change it to $5, change it to $50. Doesn't matter. Just pay for that song, and whatever amount we collect between now and Monday, I'll include that. So that's a second preference. That way, again, I think PayPal handles that, and again, it's a small fee, but I'll cover the fees. The third preference would be to do a super chat, and you can do that in this video. You click on the $sign there and make a donation that way. So anyway, so now you know why I was kind of discombobulated. And, I fell off the horse. So, what you do if you're a cowboy, like I grew up on a horse farm. We all know that when you are a cowboy, you got to get back on the horse. So I'm going to get back on the horse. And I just wanted to get it up here where you could see what I'm doing. Going to be in G. Going to do that Legend of the Rebel Soldier. In fact, there's already a comment that says, next time do that Legend of the Rebel Soldier. So I'm going to do it right now. It's going to be in 3 different chords. It's G, A, and C. And it's only a 2-chord song. So it's like in G, you're going to have a G and a D, which is 1 and 5. And in A, you're going to have an A and an E, which is 1 and 5. And in C, you're going to have a C and a G, I think, right? Yeah. I'm getting confusing myself. All right, here we go. We're going to start off in G. Let me get it up here. In a dreary Yankee prison, where a rebel soldier lay, by his side there stood a preacher, ere his soul should pass away. And he faintly whispered, "Parson," as he clutched him by the hand. "Oh, parson, tell me quickly, will my soul pass through the Southland?" Will my soul pass through the Southland, through old Virginia grand? Will I see the hills of Georgia and the green fields of Alabama? will I see that little church house where I pledge my heart and hand. Oh, parson, tell me quickly, will my soul pass through the Southland? Was for loving dear old Dixie in this dreary cell I lie. Was for loving dear old Dixie in this northern state I'll die. Will you see my little daughter? Can you make her understand? Oh, parson, tell me quickly, will my soul pass through the Southland? And then the rebel soldier died. Not a perfect job by any stretch, but at least I got through it. When you fall off the horse, you got to get back on. Well, let's see. In other news, and in good news, Cash and Cambry won yet another contest, talent show. They entered for their age group. They entered a talent show at the Phelps County Fair last Friday night, and of course, they won. Yeah, those two are doing really, really well together. I'm really impressed with Cambry, too. I mean, I can't picture a girl, her age and, in this day and time, getting into that old-time country music like she is. And she's really doing well. I've offered to give her free mandolin lessons, but so far she hasn't taken me up on it. In other news, this is completely other news, and I think it's good news too. I hear from folks pretty regularly, not every day, but pretty often, that they're thanking me for my kidney video. I've mentioned this before, and I got another one yesterday that was just, super thankful. They just said, thank you for this, that they've been suffering for 6 months on and off with these kidney stones, and now they just get instant relief. So it's just something I just discovered. It's just, I call it the Rosa maneuver. It's just something I did when there was a time there I was having them about every month, I haven't had any in a while, and I think mainly why I haven't had them now is because I've been drinking so much lemonade. I'm pretty sure that's the reason. I'm not having them anymore. I was having them all the time, and I'm drinking lemonade like crazy now, and I hardly ever, in fact, I haven't had one for a long time. But anyway, before that, I was having them all the time. And so I put out a video of how, by accident, I found this little maneuver that I do, and it just almost instantly gets rid of the kidney stone. I mean, I don't know where it goes. I don't know what it does. It just doesn't cause me any more trouble. That's all. When you have a bad kidney stone, that's all you want. You just want it to quit. And yeah, it just works. So if you haven't seen that video, you might just look it up. Just type in RSW kidney stone in the YouTube search, and you'll find it. So if you're suffering from kidney stones, check it out, because I seriously hear from people all the time go, it worked for me too. It's awesome, So anyway, just so you know. Okay, it's time for my Hodge Podge video. Here it is. Well, my friends, it's just continuous light rain like this for the last several days. I mean, it's on and off. It stops for hours during the day and then it comes back. I'm cleaning off my seat so I can get in this thing. This rip-wrap solution with my bars that go vertical like that have really helped on this drain, but it does wash down that stuff and fill it up, so I often have to come down here and clean it out, but it's the best solution we've had so far. Thought I'd show you another little project that I have to do. Is these tires are for the front of the go-kart. So the tires on the front of the go-kart are smooth and they've got holes all in them. They've been plugged many times. So those are going to go on there. I'm going to have Trinian help me when he comes back and put those on. That'll teach him something about working on stuff. Here's the state of the excavator is still like it is, and it's going to remain this way for several days. The reason being that I'm waiting on parts and stuff, and you know, you can see here now that there is space to put in that cooler and the fan up there. That's where the fan would go, and then the cooler goes here and it has a fan also. And there's really not much room to get to it to put the fan in up here, but I don't think we need one on that side anyway. Just one on this side, and this cooler I think is going to be plenty good. There's all kinds of modifications people are doing to these. They're also putting kind of like a softening valve, if you will, on the spin, on the rotation. Apparently the rotation motor goes out in these things. So there's a chance I might order that too and put that in there. You know, when you're rotating, it has an abrupt stop, and that somehow affects the motor that's in there. And so you can put this, I forget, a cushioning valve. That's what they call it, cushioning valve. And that softens the stop. So I don't know if I'm going to go to that extreme or not, but I might. I don't spin this thing around and use it every day, so I'm not too sure I worry about that. But for sure, the heating problem is a problem. So I'm going to fix that. Let me show you one more thing. This came in yesterday. Now, I want to ask your guys' opinion on this. This came in a broken box. These are all nails. It was like $135 worth of nails. This is how I salvaged it, and you can see these are broken short. And there's other broken short ones in there too. And here's all the loose nails that, you know, broke out. You know, so, you know, I don't know. I don't like to complain. I don't ever return anything, hardly ever. I mean, I do occasionally, but rarely. Anyway, I was just wondering, what would you all do on a situation like that? The optimum for me would be to contact the seller or whatever, Amazon, whoever, and say, look, you know, about a dozen of these nail strips got, you know, messed up. Can you just send me a dozen of those nail strips to replace them, because the box was terrible. I did film it and I did take pictures of it, so I got evidence. But when you go into Amazon, it's just a full refund, and you got to return it, you know, and it's like, I don't want to do that. That's such a stupid waste and hassle. I'll just live with this and make good of what I can, but you know, it just hurts my pocketbook because it's $130 some, and I know most people would just return it, but it's just not my way of doing things. It's just not me. To me, it's the just thing would be just to send me some more strips, but you can't get that done, or at least I can't figure out a way to do it. So if anybody knows of a solution to that kind of a problem, other than just getting a refund or returning it or whatever, let me know. And while we're in here, I thought I'd show you one more thing, and that is this log here. This was just, this isn't normally how I would cut it. This was just a limb, basically, off of a hickory tree. And I thought it looked clean enough, clear enough, that I might be able to make handles for these, things that I've dug out of the ground. So here's an axe I dug out. Here's a roofing hammer. Here's this weird hammer with the H and the S on the end. And then here's a little, either a toy hammer or a tack hammer. I tend to think back then this was probably, well, it could have been a toy, I guess. But I have a feeling it was a tack hammer, driving tacks in things like furniture. They'd repair everything themselves, so they would drive a tack in the fabric on the furniture to hold it or something like that. I mean, that's just an example. There's obviously plenty of other uses for a small hammer like that. But anyway, I thought I might make handles for all this. Now, I don't know, this one here, that'd take quite a handle to make a handle for that thing. So I don't know if I could get them all out of that or not, but I think I could probably. But as you know, every time I cut hickory, it looks good until you take the bark off of it, and then you can see all kinds of little knots in it. But it's not terrible. It probably still work. So I may do that too when I get 5 seconds to breathe. But it's going to be a while before I get 5 seconds with all this. I figure that needs time to dry and cure anyway. So I put it in this air-conditioned shop, and the reason I do that is because this, just plain air conditioning, sucks a lot of humidity out of stuff. And I found the wood dries really quick in here, just putting it in the air conditioning. These shingles, they're not near dry yet. These are the brand new ones. But I guarantee you they don't feel nearly damp like they did. I mean, they used to feel just wet, and they don't feel wet now at all. Just a teeny tiny bit of dampness you can feel now compared to, like these up here, these be really dry, I'm sure. These feel real dry. So these have been in here a month or more, so they're pretty dry now. But I still have to make a whole bunch more of those things. And it's very difficult to do anything like that when it just keeps raining. Now, I'm really not complaining. I got to be honest. I like the rain. It's wonderful, really. It's so much better than having a dry spring, because then you really know everything's going to burn up in the summer. So far, this has really been a great spring. It's not too much rain, but enough to really soak the ground good. And I like that. I hope it doesn't keep going and flood our road. That would be kind of a bummer. Yeah, so I got lots of projects all the time, and there's at least 19,000 other ones that I could have shown. It's unbelievable how much there is to do around here. But I kind of wouldn't have it any other way. I kind of like it that way. I like to be busy. Sitting around doing nothing is really boring to me. This afternoon, I'm going to finish up paperwork. That's what I did this morning. I got a big dent in it, and I should be able to finish up the rest of that and balance checkbooks and stuff like that. Get all that done this afternoon. Then I bought pretty much a complete gun cleaning kit, which I haven't had in years. I used to have a fairly decent one, but you know how things are. The parts get lost, things happen, things break. Well, anyway, I bought a new one, and the kit came in, but I was waiting on the solvents and the different oils and things, and all that's coming in today. So when that gets here, then I'm going to clean guns, man. I mean, I got, all the guns I have. I don't have a million of them. I got quite a few. I probably have at least a dozen, I guess. And I'm going to clean all of them, even including the new air rifle. And I'm just going to get them all cleaned up and oiled up and all that, because they've been neglected for quite a long time. And I don't like to neglect things like that. So I'm going to get that done. There is a jam tomorrow down in Newburgh at the... I should know the name of the church, but I can't call it. It'll be, if you're going down in Newburgh, at 1 o'clock. I take it back. I think the jam's at 2. I don't know. Go call it 1:30. I'm pretty sure it's 1:30. If you get there at 1:32, whatever, it'll be like when you're coming down into Newburgh from like Doolittle. It'll be the first church on your left, I think, after you get into the town down there. Pretty sure it's the first church on the left. You'll see cars and stuff, I'm sure. Anyway, that'll be tomorrow afternoon at about 1:30 if you're interested in the area. I think that's everything I was going to cover. We'll go through the comments here. I'll remind you once again, if you want to make those donations, I see some people have made super chats. We'll get to those here in a minute. But if you want to make donations, again, you can do that through PayPal. Just log into PayPal, paypal.com, and send money by email. You can send it to rosastringworks@gmail.com. Second preference is just go to my website and buy any song on the website and just change the dollar amount to any amount you want to put in. And any money I collect between now and Monday, I'll turn that in. And then the third preference is to make a super chat like here on this vlog today. So let's go through the comments and see who all is here and what's going on. Ronald Todd says, good afternoon, Jerry and everyone from the West Bank of New Jersey. David Tharp says, howdy, everyone. Wonderful play along last night. Yolanda should be in Nashville. I agree with that one. And then we moving on down. I see Mark's in there today, and I think Yolanda's in there too. I saw a comment. Rod Wentler says, big howdy to Jerry and the Chatsters. Let's see. Gino Hitch. Hi, Jerry and friends. Really enjoyed the show last night. Too bad Yolanda doesn't play guitar or mandolin. She has a natural singing voice and doesn't give those... God doesn't give those to everyone. Well, I guarantee you she got one. That's for sure. Don Nice. Jerry, last evening was delight. Well, great. Despite all my screw-ups. I don't know why I thought I could play guitar. David Tharp. I remember once when I was flying a kite in the park, a guy came up and said, so you're flying a kite? I said, nope, I'm fishing for birds. Yeah, well, there you go. Let's see. Dottie's praying for everybody. Thank you, Dottie. I saw Dottie make a comment later asking for prayers for her father that apparently is in his last days, final days. And I'm so sorry, Dottie. I know that's a tough thing to deal with. After we went live, Bill Rhodes says, good afternoon, Jerry. I really enjoyed the concert last night. Well, good. Bill Rhodes says, Yolanda's got a wonderful voice. Bill Mumbo, great play along last night. Maybe you could get Yolanda and Emery together. Yeah, that would be good. That for sure would be good. It's two of the best singers you're going to find around, especially around these parts. That would be perfect. Bill Mumbo, you're a good friend, Jerry. Your alien blood is worth bottling, my friend. Well, thank you. It definitely is alien blood, though. I don't know where it came from, but it sure didn't come from around here, I don't think. There's Yolanda's music. Well, Mark wanted me to let you know he's crying again. and she said, so am I. Well, I hope it helps you guys. Moving on down, let's see. Don Nice. Jerry, I agree with Bill and Emery. Yolanda and Jerry would be a great show. That would be fun. And Dottie says, please pray for her father. You can count on that, Dottie. Um, let's see. Moving on down. Done nice. I'm just looking for the question marks in case anybody's new here and they don't know why I'm passing up comments. Let's see. Done nice. Jerry Cash and Young Lady is another great show. Yeah, and they're doing better and better all the time. They really are. Cash is it's really starting to click with Cash now. Yeah, that might be my greatest accomplishment in music. If you could have just seen the before, if you could have just seen it, I don't even know how to explain it. Gary Cooper, thank you so very kindly, very, very much. We appreciate it very much. Diane Craver, thank you very much. Let's see. David Tharp, on a airline flight, the attendant asked me if I wanted something to drink. I asked, what do I have to choose from? She said, yes or no. Well, David, ask a stupid question. What do you think you're going to get back? Okay. Yeah, that's funny. Sidecar Bob, looks like a tack hammer to me. I'd expect most toy hammers to be claw type, and even claw hammers came in small sizes. Yeah, except for the fact that it looks to be a hand-forged hammer, and it would be way easier to hand-forge a little tack hammer than it would be to hand-forge a claw hammer. So I don't know. That's just, a comment. I don't know what I'm talking about. Let's see. Zappa, Jerry, you should keep a fan blowing on your wood to help it dry. Yeah, except that it causes it to crack on the ends when you do that. So you don't, I sort of get it. It's good to have a fan in the room circulating the air for sure. If you have it blowing directly on it, it's not always a good thing. I mean, it can be. Mark Nadsum, we really appreciate everything you all have done for us. It isn't every day you run across people that would help you. Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, they definitely always come through, and I appreciate it. Zacharak, thank you very kindly. Let's see. Simon says, we call those toy hammers toffee hammers over here. They're fine for panel pins where a 20-ounce E-swing is just overkill. For something so small, finishing nail guns have moved the game on. Yeah, that's true too. Yeah, I'm sure that little hammer, of all of those hammers that you saw, I'm sure every single one of those that you saw was over 100 years old. Positive, absolutely positive. Probably, late 1800s for sure. Zappa says, Jerry, don't use common gun cleaning solvents on air guns. They can damage the seals. Just use WD-40. Well, that might be good to know that. Yeah, I was only going to use it on the barrel, on the inside of the barrel itself, but yeah. Let's see. Moving on down, looking for the question marks. Dottie says, Jerry, I was impressed with you playing the guitar. Well, thank you. I can sort of do it, especially if it's just a straight 3-chord song. I can pretty much get through it on a guitar. But if it gets much more complicated than that, then I don't do very well with the guitar. And definitely, I'm not in the league for crazy. I don't even think I could play crazy if I had the chords in front of me while she was singing. And I'm pretty sure I couldn't do it. Well, I know I couldn't do it on the guitar. I could maybe barely do it on the mandolin, but just barely. The chords on that crazy are just crazy. There's Shad Robinson. Thank you very kindly. Very much appreciate it. Very much, guys. I really do appreciate it. I know Yolanda and Mark are going to be very grateful. Yolanda's got a comment. I think you did awesome playing the guitar, especially on those songs that I haven't sung before. Well, thank you. We tried. Yeah, it's just, generally speaking, if you don't know, I mean, I think most of you do, but generally speaking, it's much easier for most people to sing to a guitar than it would be to a mandolin. There's not that much sound behind the mandolin. The mandolin's a little bit more like a drum. You're kind of singing to a drum versus singing to the sound of the music, if you will, or the chords or whatever. I mean, you hear those chords on a mandolin too, but they're just not as distinct. Let's say it that way. Donald Nice, Jerry, your yellow shirt is awesome. Well, thank you. I thought so. Kobe Claire, praying for everyone and donated $50. God bless. Well, thank you, Kobe. We really do appreciate it. Ronald Todd, Jerry, Jerry, we all need something to do when we're resting. Yeah, I can't sit still. That's my problem. I don't know. I just have always kind of been that way. I like to be doing something for the most part. Don't get me wrong. I'll go like that for days, and then all of a sudden I got to take a day out. Kind of today is one of those where I'm just kind of doing paperwork and stuff. But I'm still working right now. But there are days when I just basically sit down and crash. I don't do that very often, but maybe once every 10 days, 12 days, something like that, I'll do that. David Tharp, I told my girlfriend that she had beautiful teeth and asked her how much she paid for them. She said, $1. I said, oh, buck teeth. Oh, you're sick, David. You're sick. You're a sick man. Guys, that's going to be it. If you can help out on that donation situation, do it. Trust me, if you could really hear all the things that happened to him, you'd do it. I mean, it's pretty crazy. Just crazy, all the stuff that's happened to him. I mean, I didn't even tell you a tenth of it, I don't think. Anyway, y'all take care. We'll see you on Monday for sure. And if I can get a video out over the weekend, by gosh, I'll do that too. There was another comment. Jerry, I think all prayers will do good for Yolanda. Yep, I agree with that. We'll see you on Monday, if not before.